What is plastic welding and why do you need to know? I know this looks like a ray gun from Star Trek. If you're anything like me, you have so many plastic items around your house that break and snap all the time. They just crack and become brittle. Storage totes, my handy dandy toolbox I've had for 2 decades. Snow shovel, cracked. This is a promising repair tool, and if it works as intended, I think the uses will be hundreds around the house. The user manual gave me tons of tips and advice. This is the plastic welding gun with the activation and the power button. Cordless design, so you charge it up with just USB included. It also comes with the cutters, the angle cutters. I'll show you why that's important later. A knife is included. And then you got 4 different kinds of wire pins. Each one has a different purpose, and they give you lots and lots. Now these wire repairs are also called staples, if you will. You're going to staple the plastic embedded with heat inside. Okay, once you're charged, you just turn on the on power button here. It always defaults to the high temperature. You have the trigger gun to activate the heat. Of course, you have to have the repair staple inside. You also have a handy dandy flashlight for your work. It defaults to the high temperature, but if you hold down the trigger and push the power button, you can go to low, medium, and high. That would depend on how thick the plastic is and how far you want to embed it in the plastic. The handy dandy instructions do give you lots of tips and advice, and it also shows you, depending on the type of plastic, if you need low, medium, and high. I don't know what ABS or polypropylene plastic is just by looking at it, so I'm just going to experiment probably on the high temperature. Okay, this handy dandy tote served for many years, but now it's cracked. Happens all the time. Can we mend that and repair it once and for all? So you're going to use the provided staples, if you will. These wire pins will become a permanent part of the plastic. They'll be molded on the inside, and they should hold for years and years to go. My tool is on, but don't worry, unless you pull the trigger, it's not sending any current to the staple, so I won't heat myself or shock myself. You're just going to insert the staple there. Now, you can experiment by doing repairs across the crack that way, or you can even come in this way. I'll probably do a little bit of both. Look how loose that is. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm going to snap it back in as close as possible. I'm going to hold down the trigger, and it should be heating up the staple. And then we're going to insert it in the plastic. And then I'm going to release the trigger and let it cool slightly before I retract the tool. Okay, now you do want to release the heat trigger quickly because you don't want to go all the way through the plastic or melt the plastic excessively, then it will weaken the repair. So let's do another one. Okay, inserted. This time, instead of going across, let's try a repair going the same direction, and we'll get more of a staple in there. I've already released the trigger. I'm letting it cool and retract. Okay, these tiny little staples are for delicate plastic repair, small and thin. And then you have 2 different styles of corner. You have an outside corner and an inside corner repair when you're doing like the edge of a bin, a storage bin. And then you have the most common one, I think, is just these S-shaped mending staples. These will be for cracks in plastic, whether they're irregular or straight. I know what you're thinking. Boy, that looks like Frankenstein stitches, and I can poke myself. So there is a provided angle cutter. You can snip these sharp bits right off. Okay, the mend is complete. The plastic weld is complete. I'd call that a good repair. No longer do you have to throw plastic components away just because they crack. You can repair them permanently now. This shovel has lasted a good long bit, but look at this crack. Wouldn't it be nice if we could repair that and go a few more years? I don't know if you can see that, but there are these cool little indentations, so when you're reloading, it's pretty easy to hit the center of the holes. As you hold it down, you'll actually see the element start to smoke and get extremely hot. It even can turn red after a bit. Look at that. And that's the snow shovel repair plastic weld permanent fix. You be the judge. I think it'll hold up just fine. It seems plenty strong. This old toolbox, if it could talk, it's been through wars. It's decades old and it holds up strong. I still stand on it. However, we're starting to have a serious problem over here. Now, cracked plastic, and I've lost a piece there. But look at that. If I could mend that, if I could patch that, it'll last another 2 decades. Okay, let's snap it back so it's tight again. Okay, we got the plastic firm and tight again. Turn on your handy dandy plastic welder. Get out your staples. Release. Let it cool. When you retract the tool. Okay, reload. I tell you, this tool is actually fun to use. Instead of like tapes and adhesives and epoxies, you actually feel like you are permanently repairing the plastic to its original state, or perhaps even stronger. Just wait till you get one of these. I bet you in the video description there's some product links. I make a few pennies if you complete the purchase. Won't change my life, but I do appreciate the support of the channel. Snip off the excess. What do you think? I think it's all mended with plastic weld. I think it's solid and all fixed up again. Plastic welding, this was my first time using the tool. This is not sponsored content. I want to experiment with it. I was blown away by the results. This is not a cheap fix. This is a permanent fix. Whether you're replacing toolboxes, snow shovels, kids' tools, storage totes, so many items can be fixed up permanently and last for years and years to come.